Okay, y'all, I finished 2 books this week, so let's talk about them. So first, I read my very first graphic novel, and that is Carmilla the First Vampire. So I read Carmilla a couple weeks ago, and now I'm reading the graphic novel adaptation of it. I found the pictures distracting, so I don't think that graphic novels are for me. However, if you are into graphic novels, I think that you will really like this rendition of Carmilla. And in this, we have a young lady who's living in New York City, and she discovers some sort of weird thing going on at a nightclub, and turns out it's a vampire. So what I really did love about this was a lot of the tie-in with Chinese culture and mythos that existed in this book, in this retelling. And I liked that it didn't shy away from that, and it brought a new dimension to Carmilla, to the Carmilla that we know and love. So I did rate this a 4-star, even though I don't think graphic novels are for me. For someone who's not going to be distracted by the pictures, I think you'll have a good time with it. Sorry about the glare on the book because the lighting is crazy right now. Anyway, 4 stars for Carmilla the First Vampire. Then I finished the 3rd book in Danielle L. Jensen's The Bridge Kingdom series, which is called The Inadequate Heir, and how inadequate we are. That's not true. What I said about this book was that finally this series is taking off. I feel like books 1 and 2 were just kind of laying the groundwork, which that's a lot for 2 books. We only needed 1 of those. And then this book, when it started off, I had my arms crossed because I was like, girl, are we just reprising this from somebody else's perspective? But at about the 2/3 mark, we were off to the races. Things took off, honey, and now everything is happening. And I don't want to give away spoilers, but essentially this series, there are a couple of different kingdoms that are all kind of like warring with each other, and it's a big back and forth. And at this point, basically the kids of the current rulers are like starting to do things. And by kids, I mean they're like in their early 20s, but they're starting to do things behind the scene, and they're starting to make waves. And by the end of book 3, I was like, let's effing go. Like, this is what I wanted to read in a book. So I rated this one 4 stars. It could have been a 5-star if I didn't spend the first good portion of the book being like, oh my God, why? Like, we already knew this was all happening. But it pulled it out in the end, and now I cannot wait to get into the next one. I listened to this on audio, so I will be listening to the next one very soon. Anyway, those are the books that I read this week. Please let me know down in the comments what you read this week, what you rated them, and what you think about the 2 books that I read, because I really want to know. I'm the nosiest person you've ever met, so please tell me everything about your life.